Well, the thing that stands out in my mind is back in 2009, in August, we discovered 11,341 untested abandoned rape kits. And it's been a long journey, and I don't want to go through, you would need hours to go through that. But the significant thing is that we now have them all tested, or they're either all tested or in the process of being tested. And what we found as of June 30th of 2018, we have 142 convictions. We have results, CODIS hits or DNA hits that point to crime scenes in 39 other states, and so 40 states out of the 50 states in the United States have connections to our project, just in our project in one city and in one county. But I think for the purposes of your question, one of the most significant things is that we found through the testing, we've identified 861 serial rapists. And that means that just within our project, we have CODIS hits for 2 or more sexual assaults. Over 50 of those 861 are what I call super serial rapists, in that they have raped 10 to 15 times within an armed project. Now, for context, sexual assault is, as you know, one of the lowest reported or the lowest reported crimes. So only about 20% are reported. That's the latest stat that I read. And so most, usually women, but men and children as well, do not report. So just of the ones that report, and the subset of those that had a rape kit done, because not everybody has a rape kit done, we have 861 serial rapists. And that's an astounding, mind-numbing statistic. And so basically we have found, and common sense will tell you, this is not rocket science, will tell you that if these kits had been tested timely, and these kits go back 40 years now, if they had been tested timely, perhaps a lot of these sexual assaults would not have happened, because the person that did them, the serial rapist that did them, would have been prosecuted, hopefully convicted, and off of the street, unable to commit another sexual assault. So there are a countless number of victims that would not have been sexually assaulted if, in fact, the kits had been tested on a timely basis. I was involved in a documentary called I Am Evidence that was produced by Mariska Hargitay, who's the star of Law and Order SVU, and there were other executive producers, Lauren Bromley and others, and that showed on HBO during the month of April. And it's still available if you contact the directors. And that really showed women in 3 cities, Detroit, Cleveland, and LA, who had been the victims of sexual assault. And 2 of the 3 were sexually assaulted by someone who was a serial rapist who raped after the kit was already on the shelf. And so one thing that you can do, anybody can do, is they can go to endthebacklog.org, endthebacklog.org, and they can see if these untested kits have been found in their states. And then they can call their legislators, and that same website, endthebacklog.org, will tell you about a massive plan that the Joyful Heart Foundation, that's Mariska's foundation, has to change laws across this country, state by state, to make sure that this never happens again. So it's all contained in endthebacklog.org. That's something that everybody can do. So to me, the most significant thing that can happen in terms of eradicating sexual assault is to make sure that in your jurisdiction you do not have these untested kits. And if you do, make sure and do everything you can to try to make sure that they're all tested, to make sure that they're then investigated and prosecuted. Just getting them tested is great. It certainly populates the DNA database, but it doesn't do anything about bringing justice for victims. And so to bring justice to victims, and justice doesn't necessarily mean there'll be a prosecution, sometimes there's not. We certainly don't force our victims to go and pursue it. Sometimes they don't. But certainly bringing justice is to investigate as many as you can and then prosecute them and try to get these perpetrators off the street. Rape culture is a deeply ingrained culture throughout this country and beyond. I obviously think that it can be changed and should be changed. There's training that must take place. Prosecutors and police must understand the neurobiology of trauma. For instance, that not all rape victims act the same way, and just because a rape victim may have a nervous laugh or maybe have a flight affect, it doesn't mean that that person was not sexually assaulted. Law enforcement has to start by believing. If a person walked into a police station and a person is saying that they were robbed, they wouldn't be trying to talk that person out of it. And sexual assault has a whole different culture. Do I think it can change? Yes, I do. But it's going to be one case at a time. and one police officer at a time, one prosecutor at a time. So we have our work cut out for us. We have a lot to do when it comes to sexual assault in this country.